Greetings, one and all. Today is June 12th, where we celebrate Democracy Day in Nigeria. You can see I'm in celebration attire, celebration mode. By the way, we just concluded a very lively debate on COVID-19 has done more harm than good to the quality of higher education in Africa. And we had the Vice Chancellor slug it out with the directors of quality assurance and directors of academic planning. It was very, very exciting debate. Who won? Well, the Vice Chancellors won. Oh, the directors of academic planning and the directors of quality assurance won. Well, by the way, we are still expecting the results from the judges. These are international judges, and in a little while, the results will be released. We're on to lesson number 5. And this lesson is about quality assurance of governance and management in higher education. Mind you, this lesson is very, very, very important. So are we ready? Well, I'm set, and you are set. So let's get to class. Since we're all set, quality assurance of governance and management in higher education, we talked about the debate we just ended about COVID-19. Yesterday, June 11th, 2021, I took my second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And the nurse who administered the dose said, "Oh, Vigbe, what is this?" And I told her, "It's Virtual Institute for Capacity Building Higher Education." And she asked me, "Where is it located?" I said, "Madam, it's located everywhere." So is there a branch in this town? Oh, I said, "Yes, there's a branch in this town." And I wanted to ask her, I don't know the meaning of virtual, but I didn't. If not, she would have just, I don't know what would have happened. So what are we going to learn in this lesson? Number 5. Now, we will differentiate between governance and management. This is about quality assurance of governance and management. Within the context of higher education, we'll look at the difference. We want to know the reasons why we think it is good to assure quality of governance and management. And I want to describe some methodologies for conducting quality assurance on governance and management. And then we'll look at challenges and be able to look at some exemplary practices. So let's take on the first one. The difference between governance and management. Now, you take your governing council, the council of your university. It is concerned with the big picture of oversight and planning, whereas the management takes care of daily operations. That's the major difference. Governance is the big picture of oversight, of planning, strategic goals, strategic planning. But these people, the managers, are for daily operations. So who are the governors? You can say I put them in brackets in very comments, and the managers in a higher education institution. Now, in a private university, you have board of trustees. You don't have for state universities, but in some universities you have the board of trustees. We also have council for all of them. So these are the governors of the institution. But at the higher level, supraordinate level, you have the visitor and the chancellor. But for day-to-day operations, in terms of oversight, in terms of planning, in terms of policy making, these are the governors. What about management? For management, we're looking at administrative management, where we talk about the vice chancellor and other principal officers. And who are these principal officers? The deputy vice. Oh, by the way, you can see that I have vice and a hyphen chancellor. Some will prefer no hyphen. What I've found is that the hyphenated model is largely British, and the non-hyphenated model is largely American. Me, Peter Okebukola, I prefer the hyphenated one. So deputy vice chancellors, you can see, is one or many, registrar, bursar, and university librarian. And the senate is the academic manager of the institution. Now, why do we need to assure quality of governance and management? I tell you something. The major challenge to quality higher education in Africa and the rest of the world is poor governance and management. And indeed, this is not only for our constituency, that's higher education. Everywhere you turn, at the family level, local government level, state level, national, everywhere, regional level. This poor governance and management is a blight, which is not making the luster of quality to shine in Africa. So these are some of the reasons why we want to assure the quality, so that these managers and the governors do not stray from institutional goals and objectives. I want to ensure that the resources that are put into the institutions are properly utilized for maximum benefit. If you don't quality assure the governors and the managers, they will just blow the thing, I tell you. Now, you want to keep those who are your governors and the managers, to keep them on their toes. That's another reason. And the other is accountability. We're accountable to the society, for everyone's sake. And then we need to assure quality so that accountability is brought to the front burner. Now, methodologies for quality assuring governance. Let's look at some practical examples. This track is practical track. So I've asked some seasoned chairmen of councils, one of them, by the way, who has walked this road before, Emeritus Professor Nimi Briggs, and then a seasoned former vice chancellor, who, by the way, was Secretary General of the Association of Vice Chancellors of the whole of the Nigerian university system, Professor Michael Faborode, to share their practical examples with us on how they were quality assured as council chairman or as council and as vice chancellor. Over to you, Professor Nimi Briggs, and then Professor Faborode.
Yes, there are two ways by which I quality assured my work as pro-chancellor. One way is that I read the laws establishing the university quite satisfactorily and ensured that I obeyed the laws at all times. I ensured that the council supervised the activities of the vice chancellor in a satisfactory manner. We ensured that at all times we were within the vision and mission of the university. I read my minutes quite satisfactorily and reacted to the contents of the minutes as the pro-chancellor and chairman of council, and ensured that all members of my subcommittee carried out the activities quite satisfactorily. I did not at any time request undue favors from the vice chancellor, thereby debasing the office of the pro-chancellor and chairman of council. Then, of course, there is the external quality assurance, which comes on every 5 years. And as you know, it's all that I did cumulatively that was examined during that external quality assurance, the visitation I'm referring to now. So it is the day-to-day activities that I carried on that got exceptional the university. So that is the way that I quality assured my work as a pro-chancellor and chairman of council.
Thank you very much. My name is Professor Michael Oladimeji Faborode. I was vice chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University from June 2006 to June 2011. My activities as vice chancellor were very much quality assured. One, we had annual reporting system that AUC considers, and so that kept universities on their toes. Secondly, we had a project that was going on with the Carnegie Corporation, and so we had a monitoring and evaluation committee that reported, regularly to Senate, and so that afforded us another means of being able to see the big picture of what was going on in the university. And of course, there was the critical press and the very vibrant OAU, both staff and student community that normally availed us of their comments, often very critical, but they were constructive and they were useful in keeping the university on its toes. So these were means of quality assurance, of verifying, to monitor what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong. And so it was quite useful.
Thank you so very much, Emeritus Professor Nimi Briggs and Professor Michael Faborode. Let me now summarize what they have said and then add a few more things of my own. Professor Nimi Briggs said we can partition the quality assurance of governance and management into internal and then external. Let's look at the internal. And one of the methodologies is for a Directorate of Quality Assurance to assess council and management through anonymous online questionnaire survey And of course, you can use suggestion boxes that are placed in different locations in the university or in the higher education institution. Now, the second methodology is objective, and you hardly get it. Feedback through staff and student unions. These unions, based on some idiosyncratic ways of doing things, they may favor you as vice chancellor or as council, or may not. So they may not give you objective feedback, but if they are in a position to give objective feedback to quality assure the work of the council and of the university. The third is internal audit of financial transactions. The fourth is administration of the African Quality Rating Mechanism Questionnaire internally. Now, let's see the example of an anonymous online questionnaire assessment. We use this at a visitation panel exercise that we carried out some years back, actually about 11 years back, and wanted to assess leadership quality of council. So we came up with the terms of reference of council. What should council do here? And then for the staff and students to assess the council and the principal officers on this scale: poor, average, good, and excellent. Now, actually, these are the results for the vision panel that we conducted. I talked about the African Quality Rating Mechanism. That instrument also has something that you as quality assurance people in the university system can draw for. It has a segment on governance and management. So from this, you can derive your instrument. And this is also the same thing, but on the scale of poor, insufficient, satisfactory, good, and excellent. So this is AQRM, and you have institution has a clearly stated vision, and you put the assessment over there. Let's go on to the external quality assurance of governance and management. One, well, I'm just going to be listing them 1, 2, 3, 4, but not in any order, is NUC's inspection and monitoring visits. Usually unannounced. You should just get into the university and you find out how it is being governed or how it's being managed. We have a great directorate of inspection and monitoring in NUC that does this so very well. And then there is a governance assessment visits of private universities. There's a new instrument, a new tool that NUC, under my boss, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, the best executive secretary NUC has ever had, developed this instrument. I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to share that with you, for assessing the governance of our private universities. The third is, this word quinquennial. Quinquennial means 5 yearly. Biennial means every 2 years. Quinquennial, quadrennial, 4 years. Quinquennial, 5 years. And of course, you can have special ones. That's visitations to universities, or you call them institutional audit. So this, as Professor Demi-Brick said, and Professor Fabaroli also said, very important in externally assuring quality of governance and management. Number 4, institutional accreditation. Institutional accreditation goes beyond programs. It looks at the entire university. It looks at what happens in registry, in the bursary, in the vice chancellor's office, works, and all of that. That's another quality assurance tool, external. Now, ICPC in 2010, conducted a study which had a system which we call the University System Study and Review, USSR, not Russia, of Putin, is USSR, University System Study and Review. Now, that came up with an instrument for quality assuring governance and management, which I'm going to share with you in a little while, like on the side. I happen to have led the team that went to the universities on the pilot run to develop the instrument. And the external audit of finances, I hope you are making notes of all these methodologies, in external and internal, because it will come out for test to Friday test. Last, definitely not the least, is objective assessment by stakeholders. So I said objective. The state people, state assembly, they will come to a university, they say they are doing oversight. Oversight of what? You know what I mean. But the oversight, if it's to be done objectively, they will run oversight of your governance or run oversight of management of finances and other things. And also the National Assembly for federal universities. The press, as Professor Fabo already said, is also a good tool for quality assurance, put you on your toes. And of course, parents. I talked about the governance assessment visits. This is the Code of Corporate Governance for private universities in Nigeria. This is the revised edition. I have good news for you. I have this tool. You go to get it as part of the package, the goodies that I'm giving to you. You know, this Democracy Day, June 12th. So you have a lot of goodies that I'm going to give to you. So this is one of them. I'm also going to give you this. You see, ICPC, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, for those participants who are not from Nigeria, in partnership with NUC. I left office at that time, but I was asked to lead this process. University System Study and Review. This is a template for the prevention of corrupt practices in the Nigerian university system. Another good news, you are going to get this so that you use it in your universities. Now, there are challenges. We're getting to our next learning outcome. Challenges to quality assuring governance and management. So let's get some views from some of the experts.
The greatest difficulty there was with respect to discipline and having the ability to carry out the responsibility that had been ascribed to me as chairman of council and getting others to carry on in that manner. So you found people who were members of council, but were not willing to carry out the responsibilities in the way they should be. And also advise chancellor, you have a management, you members of your management were not all on the same platform with you, and they differed from time to time. And you have to ensure that this discipline is imposed on them, and they all worked in accordance with the tenets of the university.
Okay, my name is Professor Michael Faboro, the immediate past Secretary General of the Committee of Vice Chancellors, as well as Committee of Pro-Chancellors of Nigerian universities. And that gave me opportunity to see an insight into some of the challenges of quality assurance in the university system. For example, the quality of the persons appointed to the leadership of the council is very, very important. It's very critical to the success of a university system. If you bring somebody who is a priori not familiar with the university system, then it's a big challenge. And also, there must be synergy between the vice chancellor and the chairman of council. The chairman of council must know that it should look things in more strategic and global view, not micromanaging, not looking at day-to-day management of the university system. I think these are the greatest challenges that we have in the system.
Oh, wow. Thank you for listing those challenges. Let me give you my thoughts on this. I'm wrapping it with those of the experts. I think there's sometimes lack of honesty, of intention to do the quality assurance. You see, many people typically see the thing as hatchet operation. You want to go and hammer the vice chancellor or council, and you set up what you call a special visitation panel, or even the quinquennial visitation. But that's not supposed to be the essence. The essence is to quality assure, as Professor Fabode said, look, give a mirror, external mirror, look at yourself. How do you measure on the quality variable? So, but one challenge is lack of honesty of intention. The other is lack of objectivity in reporting. You find that some accreditors, on account of a host of things, will not be objective in the data collection and reporting and recommendations being made. The other is play the big man. What do I mean by that? You see, the vice chancellor will feel too big. Oh yeah, you can't quality assure me because I have deep roots in high places. Next is deficit of courage on the part of the Directorate of Quality Assurance. You find that the Director of Quality Assurance may not, because the vice chancellor has put you there, and you are being asked to go and conduct. You want to conduct the instrument I gave to you before, the online questionnaire survey, and even when you get some noxious data from the survey, you may be afraid to tell the Vice Chancellor. So we need men of courage, a Directorate of Quality Assurance. And I'm going to come to that. I will show you something in a minute. And then corruption, there's corruption, a huge lot of it in the system. So let me show you what I mean about deficit of courage of the Public Directorate of Quality Assurance. And that's going to come from the instrument that we administered. And I'm going to ask you, I've given you that instrument in the package. I'll give you the instrument in the package. I'd like you to please use it and let me see whether you have courage in reporting just like we have done. Let me share that with you now. So this is the instrument which you will get in your package, and I want to be in the practical track. I would like you to put this on an online form and administer to the community, staff and students. So this for the council, for instance, laying down some policies for effective running of the university and all that. And then we reported this data as they are. So, and then out of, for this, I've called it University X because I decided to not to let the name of the university out. Apart from this quantitative, you also will ask the participants, as your students and your lecturers or your staff, to give some verbal, some qualitative data. You see, we said here, general comments of staff on the leadership of council. So verbatim, you can see what they said. Chairman left all of this. So you need this. You need courage to be able to release this to the Vice Chancellor and the rest of the university community. Then general comments of students on the leadership of council. So that is it. And then you have this verbatim of council, and then you have, let's say, recommendations that were made. This is of the Vice Chancellor. We went all the way through. Quality of leadership of the Vice Chancellor. So the Vice Chancellor's terms of reference or what his responsibilities are different from that of the council. So you got to list this too, and then ask your respondents to indicate whether it's poor, average, good, excellent, or whatever scale that you want. So you can see what I mean. You will get this, as I said, and what the verbatim quotes at the end of this. So let's go quickly. Yeah, this for students, verbatim, registrar. So, and the rest of them. So we have all the principal officers, all those managers, and the governors covered in this instrument, which you'll find exceedingly useful. Yeah, so back to this corruption thing, where money changes hand or whatever. I mean, you find people who don't have that courage, who have that conscience, who are ethically debased to compromise. And that takes us, by the way, to the last learning outcome, exemplary practices. You see, over the years, I've tried to document exemplary practices. This lesson will not permit me to pick them one by one, to pick some exemplary practices one by one. But what I've done is to make these materials, some of them, available to you. You have monograph series, volume 2, number 2, exemplary practices of university councils. You have it in the package. Oh, you are lucky, people. You have it in the package that I'm going to give to you. Anthology of exemplary practices of vice chancellors with over 300 case studies. Case studies of exemplary practices of deputy vice chancellors, registrars, bursars, university librarians. These are still, I'm finalizing this, so you'll be getting this one at a much later date. Although it's dated July 20th, but we're finalizing the first run of it. And it's free. All of this free for use. And then the other one, we didn't capture heads of department and deans of faculty as part of management. But if you extend the management, you have this here. So anthology of exemplary practices of heads of department and deans of faculty by Peter Okebukola. You are lucky, people. You're going to get all of this. So what I would learn in this lesson, we differentiated between governance and management. Oh, can you recall what we said? We said one is a big picture and the other one is day-to-day operation. And the reasons for quality assurance, we talked about it, accountability to the society and to keep people on their toes. We looked at the methodologies for quality assurance, external internal, or rather the other way around, internal and external. And we looked at challenges to quality assurance, and we noted sources of exemplary practices. So the documents that you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready with your Ghana Must Go bags. Oh, sorry, the Ghanaian participants, I'm so sorry I used that Ghana Must Go, but it's a bag that we use in Nigeria. So are you ready with your baskets or whatever? We are going to get this. Exemplary practices of ESO department, the ICPC governance corrupt practices prevention template you are going to get. The NUC code of good governance you're going to get. The monograph or exemplary practices of university council you're going to get. Then the sample anonymous questionnaire, which I just scrolled down and showed you, going to get. The revised AQRM survey questionnaire for one of the institutions that filled it, you are going to get. Oh, what a good package this is. So you can download at this site. It's available, I think, for about a month. And so before I go, this apples was just, I'm dreaming to be rich like my father. The teacher asked him, what are you thinking about, this young man? Say, I'm dreaming to be rich like my father. Oh, your father was very rich then. Oh, no. He is also dreaming. Oh, yes, I'm also dreaming. Dreaming about what? About money too. Because the next lesson, lesson number 6, is about how we finance, how we fund quality assurance. We'll talk about all these activities, internal, external, where the money could come from. That is the heart of the matter for next lesson. Until then, it is bye from Peter Okebukola.